Welcome back, everyone. A brand new week here on the Integrative Health Coach Success Podcast. I'm Dr. Stephen Cabral, board-certified doctor of naturopathy and founder of the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute. Excited to get into today's show because it's one of my favorites, which is really talking about what if you are a beginner health coach, or you're just getting started in your career, or you're good, but you're looking to take it to that next level of great, right? Or you're expanding some of the services within your practice. How do you get better at it, right? Is it quality? Do you just want to put out a few good quality pieces of work, right? In terms of meeting with just a couple appointments a week, or working with just a couple high-end individual clients, or doing just maybe like one post a week with social media, or just one podcast and no other social media. Like, what is the best way to go about it? So there's an interesting saying, and I want to share this with you and really take you through the process. And it's not going to be a long show because I want you to, as always, to get out there and implement. So this is one of those shows that I like to do. It's towards the end of the year. I want to make sure that you have a new mindset going into this new year. So yes, I'm going to be doing my 12-week year shows, no doubt about it. I'm going to be breaking it down for integrative health practitioners, as well as others listening to this show that aren't in the IHP community, how they can use that in their own coaching career. But the truth is this, is that there's no way you should be going into the new year with the same mindset. There's just no way. If you have the same mindset this year that you did in December of last year, I think that there wasn't enough of a learning process. Meaning, like, I'm not upset at the mindset that I had last year. My mindset this year isn't radically different, but it is different. Like, I've learned. There's no doubt that I've learned a lot over the past year. Read, again, another 100+ books. I've done additional studies. I've read tons of research. I've traveled a bit more. We put on our IHP live event. I know more of what our community wants. Like, I know more, right? So, and hopefully, and I'm sure you do too. I'm not going to say hopefully you do too. I know that you know more. So I just want to make sure that we have a different mindset. Now, there's going to be things that I'm doing that are brand new for next year. A lot of people say, well, what are you doing that's brand new? Well, for me, I'm coming out with a brand new coaching program. I haven't worked with one-on-one clients except my VIP clients that I've been working with for years, because I oversee 2,000, 3,000, well, more than that, like 5,000 labs a month inside of Equilife, right? So like I oversee a lot of labs, and so I get my practice there, and I get to work with my health coaching team every Monday and Thursday answering any of their difficult case study questions. So and then I do case studies in the Cabral concept like once or twice a month on my Thursday show. So like I read thousands of labs. I still get that practice. So it's not that, but I'm going back and doing something different with coaching clients that I haven't done before. I'm going to then perfect this program, and I'm going to be teaching it then to IHPs as well. So like, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that. That is new. So people say, hey, what are you doing that's new? But here's the thing. This is how you have to look at it. All right. So it's an equation. It's literally an equation. So when people ask, what is better, quantity or quality, right? So quantity means a lot of output, right? So you're just literally, you're posting, let's say 3-4 times a day on social media. Quality would be like one great post a week, like one great email a week, one great post a week, and that's it. Okay, well, here's the thing. If you are going to do quality, it needs to knock it out of the park, because you only get, it depends, one chance a day, if it's like one call with a client or one lab, a day, or it's one social media post a week or one email a week, like whatever it might be. You just have to make sure that you knock it out of the park. And so then the prerequisites to you knocking it out of the park is that you know exactly what you're doing, right? You know how to perfectly craft a Instagram post or a YouTube video that you create, or a headline or a subject line to even get your email opened, right? Like, you need to perfectly craft that. Oh, working with a client, one client a week. Okay. All right, great. And you might charge a high premium. Well, fantastic. Like, great. But again, you need to make sure that you know labs or protocols or your training programs, whatever it is, inside and out. So you might say to yourself, well, I don't know that I know that, right? Because it's difficult to know. Well, if you say, I don't know if I know that, the answer is probably then it's not, right? And that's okay. Like, you're not there yet. And we all are, right? If I were to go into day trading stocks, I would have no idea. So like, here's an example. If you are a wizard at choosing stocks, not just picking like an Apple, right, or a company like that, then you're able to make fewer trades, but really high quality one. But if you're a beginner, you're most likely putting very little money on each trade and doing your best based on the best education you have and beginning to learn that way and see what works and see what doesn't, right? Does that kind of make sense? So let's look at it this way. Here's a great quote, and I think that this is going to help you out. That when deciding between should you put out quantity or quality, we have to understand that in the end, high quality work will always win. It will get you more clients. It will get you more referrals. It'll help make you more money in your career in terms of finances. It'll get you more notoriety, anything that you want. However, someone doing a large amount of quantity beats low output quality. So let me give you another example. There are people in the health space that did really well with best-selling books, et cetera, big names. And then they just disappeared. They put out a post every, 2 months or so, 3 months, whatever it might be. They didn't go on their book tour anymore. They weren't really doing podcasts. And then they tried to make a resurgence a few years later. They didn't have the same traction. People had moved on because there were some people out there who didn't have their experience, their notoriety, their leadership, celebrity back in the day, but they continued to put out content and great service day after day after day. So there might be this person with a great web design team and video production, and they're putting out one video, let's say once a week on Instagram. Okay, people look forward to that. But then there's someone else putting out 3 posts a day, 4 posts a day. Now, let's say that 9 out of 10 of those don't stick, but one does. Great. So that means that every 2 days, right, to 3 days, they have a winner. So they have 2 to 3 winners a week versus this other person that has 1 winner a week, right? And over time, they then realize, oh, here's what's happening. People like this topic for me. This is beginning to become my niche. These are the headlines that really work. This is the length of the video that really seems to work. So they start to do more of that. Now, 1 out of 2 videos or social media posts hit, right? Even 1 out of 3. So now they have 1 a day if they're putting out 3 a day. So now they have 7 winners a week versus a person that has 1. So this person with 7 winners a week, sure, they might go from 2,000 followers, but then by the end of 6 months, they're at 10,000. The end of another 6 months, they're at 30,000. They're growing exponentially faster, and you can see how that's going to continue to grow. But it's also doing something else. It's developing the mindset of a winner because they realize that in order to get to the top, whatever their top is, which is suggestive, by the way, like it's totally subjective, they get to decide. They're learning the discipline of doing, of taking action, and then tweaking and recalibrating what works. That is the ultimate recipe to get anything that you want in life, from relationships, spirituality, health, body transformation, career. It's all the things that I talk about in the Mindset and Motivation Monday. So we have to understand is that's the recipe. Get there as quickly as possible. So there's one more part to this, that when you want to get phenomenal quality work, it always begins with quantity. Interesting, right? Because I basically just shared with you the recipe to develop high quality work. It's the person who was doing 3 posts a day or so. They found that 9 out of 10 were no good. 1 was. Oh, people like this. Let me start to do this every day or every other day. Okay, starting to get more traction. And they're learning then how to create high quality work, not just quantity. So in the future, if they wanted to do less posts, they could, because they now know what quality looks like. But how will you ever discover what quality is if you don't put in the quantity? You can study other people's social media, other people's businesses, But at the end of the day, you have to do it yourself. You need to prove that it works for you, not just that individual. Because maybe it's their brand, right? Everybody has their own brand and their own, niche that they market to or they send their message to, right? And so it is my belief that quantity is almost always better than quality. It's all literally, like, you can't put out bad quality work, but I don't think anybody listening to this podcast is going to put out bad quality work. It's your best at this moment in time, right? So you're giving your best at this moment in time. When I first started as a personal trainer or a nutritionist or a young doctor, any of these things, I was giving people my very best. But it's not my best today, right? It's not my best if you're judging me right now. But it was my best back then. And I would have never gotten to where I am today if I hadn't started putting in the quantity, right? Like, in my practice, I always did 30 something appointments to low 40 appointments per week, always. So when you look at that, that's like 2,000 appointments a year. So if my quality wasn't that great in the beginning, I was learning through quantity how to make it better real fast. Because, and I'll link it up today. So if you go to ihp.coach/184, I want to share with you the podcast that I did on your 10,000 hours. Because no matter what, people try to dispute it, but no matter what, like, to be a true expert in your space, you need to get to 10,000 hours as quickly as possible. Now, ideally, you're practicing the right thing, right, for those 10,000 hours, but that never happens in the beginning. You need to get started. And then through repetition, you find out exactly what is the right thing through continued learning, and you continue to repeat that, right? Like, that's what it's about. So most people can get there in 5 years, right? But I'll tell you this, after 3 years, you're there. The next 2 years is refining. So don't think it's going to take 5 years to become an expert, but do believe it's going to take 2 to 3 years. Do believe that. But if what you're doing is worth it, well, you're going to have an amazing career. And again, you can earn the money now. Like, you can get, I get my team busy within 3 to 6 months. That's it, to build the career. But to feel like, wow, I'm making a huge difference. I'm helping people. I'm really enjoying the job satisfaction. This comes easy to me now, 3 years. And then to get to that upper less than 1%, that next 2. Now, as they say, the time's going to pass anyways, right? You might as well start putting in that quantity now, sooner the better, so that you can develop your quality work. Hopefully today's show was helpful. As always, do feel free to share this show with a colleague that you believe it could serve. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing week.